I am recording this video on Wednesday, November 29th, and I am guessing by the time this video airs next Friday, this card will be banned in Pioneer. This deck is pretty messed up. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for a relatively rare Pioneer video, but Zarian from my Discord came at me and said, "Hey Phil, do you want to record with a deck that is probably going to be banned?" And I said, "Duh." I'm excited for this one. So last week for you all, we saw my Trumpeting Carnosaur deck in Legacy do some honestly pretty dirty things, and that card was pretty good. But I want you to imagine that in a lower power format where you can have a deterministic win on turn 3 by casting a single card. Welcome to the Discover deck. So here's the game plan. What you're going to do is cast a Geological Appraiser, and then you win the game. I am not kidding. It is that simple. We're not going to have any traditional ramp cards in this deck list, so every single thing that we can possibly discover into is going to be some sort of clone effect or an Eldritch Evolution. And we can use that to sacrifice our initial Explorer to turn it into a Trumpeting Carnosaur, which, enters the battlefield and then discovers, and then you can start cloning those until you ultimately find yourself a Doomskar Titan that's going to give all your creatures +1/+0 in haste until end of turn and allow you to just win the game via combat damage on turn 3. Because we're going to have a way to cheat out the Geological Appraiser a turn early. So let's take a look at the whole deck here. So you need this screen. In order to ramp into these cards, we're going to be playing two different cards that allow us to, for 2 mana, create a treasure token. Creative Outburst, as well as Magma Opus, both have this same ability. So at the end of our opponent's turn 2, we just discard, make a treasure, turn 3, play Geological Appraiser, and Bob's your uncle. The game is over. So we have a handful of different clone abilities to take advantage of the fact that Cascade and Discover are slightly different, and these things happen on ETB rather than cast, which is an upside for a deck built like this one. And we do have a few safety nets. If we happen to draw our Doomskar Titan, and so it's in our hand and we can't just tutor it out of our deck at some point, we can instead get Galta Stampede Tyrant to put that card onto the battlefield instead. And we also do have Torrential Gearhulk, which when it ETBs, we can cast target instant from our graveyard without paying its mana cost, which is a cool way to go ahead and rebuy some of these things like Eldritch Evolution if something has gone wrong. And we can, I suppose, technically cast things like Magma Opus and Creative Outburst, but I'm going to be real with you, I haven't actually read the top parts of those cards yet, and we'll get around to reading those should we need to. The final card here is Bedeck and Bedazzle, which I guess is just kind of a flexible card that doesn't get in the way of our Discover stuff. So this is a removal spell that we can use, and I guess technically also destroying a non-basic land could matter sometimes. Now, as of the time that I'm recording this deck is essentially public enemy number 1 in Pioneer. So I don't know what degree of hate I'm going to run into. I goldfished 3 games. I won all of them on turn 3. This deck is scary powerful, and we do have options to bounce permanent based hate out of our opponent's hand. And we do still have some ways that we can interact despite the fact that we can't have very many things that cost less than 3 mana. We kind of have to cheat on the mana costs in that regard. But let's see how broken this deck is. This might be one of those videos that I record for history and we go this deck was messed up. I'm glad I got to try it once. And if you end up needing to buy any of these cards, because maybe not everything here is going to get banned. Maybe you can still mess around with this general strategy. Check out Cool Stuff Inc. and use promo code ThrabenU to save 5% on your next order, and the deck list will be in the video description to moxfield.com. And as always, if you have an awesome deck that you want to see on this channel, all that information is also available in the video description as well, and that helps me pay my bills, because this is my job. Let's battle. Alright, I have kept an opening hand that has a turn 3 kill. On turn 2, we make a treasure. On turn 3, we do the thing. Ooh, we're getting thought seized. In that case, we are going to play some real magic here. No freebie for good old ThrabenU at the start of the video. That's not a good draw. We'll just go ahead and do a tapped Blood Crypt and pass. What is the backside of this? Blue-black, got it. Note that I am not much of a Pioneer player. I haven't really enjoyed the format as a whole. Oh, you're getting me again? Oh, you're getting me again. So I don't immediately know what deck I'm looking at. Another Black Cleave Cliffs. Just make a land drop and pass here. Alright, I think I need to read the front of this card. We might be in one of those games where I might just cast a 7 mana spell. 5 damage to any target. Look at top 5 of your library. 1 into your hand. Okay, cool. Oh, it's just making a land drop. Which is probably what I'm going to be doing as well here. Go Cliffs and pass. This Glasspool Mimic may end up being a land. Rogues? 8 more cards in your graveyard, rogues get big, and you make me mill. Alright, got it. Guess I could have foretold this. Alright. Each player mills 3 cards, then each opponent discards a card, and you draw a card. Then they can turn it into a creature in a graveyard. Okay, that's kind of neat. Guess maybe we kill this creature. Bedeck. Get it? I am going to discard a card. Can I get this hasty thing back from graveyard? Is that a thing that I can do? And do instants and sorceries from graveyard. Not so much, so maybe we don't discard that one. Discard the Mimic. Yeah, I think I need to just foretell this to protect it. I don't know, I might just be doing a pass the turn-based line some portion of the time. Alright, I wish I had done that on a previous turn, because it costs me 1 life off Mana Confluence if I want to make a treasure. So that I can play a Trumpeting Carnosaur if I draw it. Ooh, Sheoldred got milled over there. These things legendary? No? Alright. Guess I discard the Mimic. A little weird, because that's a land and this is representing a treasure. I think I want to be able to play a Trumpeting Carnosaur immediately if I draw it. Alright, let's make that treasure. Alright. I just want to play this as a dude. Now that I have this extra land. I mean, we might be essentially playing a limited game here. And I just kind of accept this. Hit you for 5. Opponent's at 11. This feels like an incredibly slow game. I'm not under any pressure, minus this. Sure. Am I just going to 3-turn clock my opponent with a 4/4 just vanilla creature? There's something kind of beautiful about that, you know? Yeah, you can nuke an Eldritch Evolution from my graveyard. That technically has text with Super Snapcaster Mage, whatever that card is called. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 8. We will just continue to crash in. If my opponent uses a discard spell on me, I can just use this thing's activated ability. And if they don't, I'll hold this in hopes of actually casting it. Alright, what does this do on the backside? Creature in a graveyard. Understood. Torrential Gearhulk is the name of the card I was thinking of. That's fine. This is going to take down the first battle. Alright, so they now get the backside of this. And they are going to do the appraiser thing. But that is probably going to be a lot less scary. A fairy mastermind. Sure, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I need to do this as a treasure. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know this deck in and out, obviously. Oh, this is target creature you control. I mean, we just do that and then be able to attack with both. That seems perfectly reasonable. Blue, one random one. I think I'll pay the green off of this and keep the treasure. I don't know that this is resolving. I haven't seen counterspells from my opponent yet, but it seems like the sort of thing they should have. Unless this is... No, that was the guy. Drown in the lock. Oh, yeah, reasonable. That's a good 2-for-1. So now my opponent can animate this Hive Tyrant and like have me on a 2-turn clock, which is very, very, very scary. What's that? You can turn a land into a shark? That's dope as hell. I'm going to take half my life total here, and I'm just... Well, I guess this thing could get attacked. And it is going to be attacked. Is that correct? Like, just on a 2-turn clock? I don't know. This might still put me on a 2-turn clock. But it seems like they just have things they can whiff on. I don't know, getting something like a Sheoldred is pretty good. It makes up 2 of that 4 damage immediately. And opponent needs to show me a counterspell here. Or I guess there's other kinds of interaction that could break this up. But we're attempting. So we will Eldritch Evolution. Get Trumpeting Carnosaur. Get the Appraiser. I'm not sure that I can get haste with everything and win this turn, but we're going to click on a lot of buttons. Eldritch Evolution, the Appraiser. Into a Carnosaur. Do Appraiser. Or an Eldritch Evolution. How much damage does this do? That does 4 damage. Alright. We'll probably do that in a minute. So we will replicate a Carnosaur. This is a point where my opponent could have a removal spell. Negative. We'll replicate again. And now we clone. Do the time warp again. Oh, we ran out of stuff. Okay. I mean, we'll call that a good turn. But I probably would have arranged this in a way where I did 4 damage to the Sheoldred to kill it. But yeah, one of those is slightly awkward. Again, though, this is a very, very, very slow game. Cryptic Command legal in this format? Seems like no. Or if my opponent doesn't have it, because Cryptic Command would have killed me. Alright. Sure. This is an instant as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These aren't fused, so I get one side of this or the other. Got it. I mean, I'm just gonna send these sideways, and if my opponent can do something about it, cool. But I don't think I blink until I have to. Oh, I see. So that's gonna make me lose a little more life. Oh, that's fine. So I lose 2. I'll put my opponent at 11. 3 of these gets blocked, 3 of these get through. I'm still fine. I don't need to react yet. Or sorry, 13. 2 triggers. Okay. That doesn't kill that. Okay. I wonder if my opponent thought, like, because it was a clone, it still had the old CMC. Alright. That was kind of a weird game. We got double Thought Seized out of the game early on, but my opponent wasn't really presenting a clock, and so, like, I just timed to naturally draw into another combo attempt. I don't know what hate to expect. Like, I don't know if I am supposed to be doing something like this to bounce a, like, not Sphere of Resistance. What's the Sphere of Resistance that's legal in this format? Damping Sphere, there we go. Thought Distortion is interesting. I think I just like these still, just to take the early creatures out of the way and kill the manlands more than I like this. I think I'm going to whack the submit button, and if we go to a game 3 scenario, I will adjust more appropriately. My opening hand has mana, but I don't have a Discover card to get things started. I do have a Discover card. This hand is great. We'll throw back Torrential Gearhulk. We're nowhere near ready for that. And one of these lands scries, so that when I inevitably get Thought Seized, I can start working towards another reasonable Magic the Gathering card. Love that. All right. Now I have 2 Discover cards. I think I'm just going to top the land. Is this the mill one? Yeah. That's fine. Oh, lost an Appraiser. Castle Locktwain. And this time I'm going to be under more pressure. Mill some more cards. Only taking 1 this turn. We are set up for a turn 3 combo attempt. I kind of expect that my opponent is just going to hold up removal, or not removal, like a counterspell in this turn cycle. Because it's very telegraphed, this is the time where I am capable of going off. But this game, they're actually playing tempo, presumably. I don't think you just keep a hand that cannot Thoughtseize or counterspell something relevant against a combo deck that's this fast. But I have the ability to try again in the not too distant future. Ow. Assuming I don't die to creatures, which, is a thing. Oh, cool. Removal spell? Bitter Triumph. Sure. I hit Eldritch Evolution, which I can't cast. So that goes to my hand. I'm on a 2-turn clock. This is 6 damage now. I might not get to try again. I guess I can just rip another Appraiser. Sure. So big. 2 Appraisers in graveyard currently. Yeah, I'm at 3. That is not gonna do it. And even using this for the removal spell mode is not getting me there. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to race this. This is 1 land. Not a fan. Much do I believe in these scry lands. This does not contribute to my just race land. I'm going to go to 5. I don't think I need that many cards to win. But these aren't them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not great. Don't know that it makes sense to go to 4. I am going to take that as a redraw. A little awkward because I want to use this for a treasure probably next turn before it can get discarded. But I don't have a lot of selection. And this may get discarded now. We'll see. Yeah, that's what I thought. And take a peek. This is a removal spell for a creature. I don't think this is what I am looking for. I am just either trying to get to 6 mana to play Trumpeting Carnosaur, or trying to get to an Appraiser. And either one of those things is perfectly fine. I'll pass the turn. If my opponent flashes in an end-of-turn creature, I probably just use this as a removal spell, and we try to drag the game on. Because, I can just kill my opponent with things that look like this. I'm okay with that at the end of the day. But let's keep the board clear for now. I have no real reps to know with certainty XYZ thing is what I am supposed to be doing. I'm gonna do it again. I don't know how deep to go on these effects. I'd rather be using the Rakdos Bedazzle card or whatever to kill those creatures, but I lose the Gearhulk. Sure. If my opponent like taps out to start activating this to attack these, though, they're not necessarily in the best position overall. Yep. I could counter that ability, but I'm not going to. Like, this has, I think, better potential uses. Now that may be the difference between this. How is this gonna work? I think I can effectively stifle my opponent's ability to cast the backside of this thing. But battles don't really come up in Legacy, so I'm not actually 100% sure. I think I can just stop this fully. I don't think this is like a scenario where it just immediately triggers again. It doesn't look like it from wording. Yeah. Alright, good stuff. Take Numa. Just 4 mana, end of turn, return Appraiser. Okay. Oh man, Take Numa might actually do something good in a league for a change. Alright. So my opponent gets to draw a second card. Feels scary, giving me cards. I missed an extinction event getting milled over. Alright, I take some damage. Didn't have to play around Hive of the Eye Tyrant. We'll return an Appraiser. Opponent's got 4 cards and a whole bunch of available mana. But I don't think we came here to not jam, you know? So let's jam. Let's attempt to copy it. This is a point of interaction. But I think if my opponent had removal, they already remove. Because it like goes very differently if I flip Eldritch Evolution. But apparently I am wrong. I'll just be passing the turn here. 5 onboard damage. Sure. Opponent's got a decent number of resources to work with. If I get an untapped land, though, like I get to just like cast Torrential Gearhulk and then do something gross. It also just has flash, which is real cool. I'm at 10. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to pass the turn with the intention of making a treasure and killing a thing. Yeah, we're going to kill a thing in response. The deck. We're going to kill the other one of these. I don't want my opponent to have 2 of those in play at the same time. Like, I'm okay if they do that once. They don't get to do that twice. Alright, we draw. Fantastic. I'm not dead on board or anything. But I probably only get to go for it once here. Ooh, spooky. So that's 7 damage, and this is another 3. Opponent did not go for lethal damage. Not claiming that that is a mistake or anything, as I legitimately do not know whether or not it is. I don't know what's in their hand to evaluate that decision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Torrential Gearhulk for this on my opponent's turn. Feel like this doesn't fly. I could kill like this and this if it attacked. Sure. I think that's better than just going for it. I think that's better than just going for it. But I don't know that I'm in a good position. Alright, here we go. I'll let that happen. I will attempt the Gearhulk, which I just imagine gets countered and I die. Yeah. I have been slain. GG's. Today's video is sponsored by Eminence Gaming. Their command tower software that they use to run events is awesome, and in January, I'm going to be attending another one of their events, The Boil, in Atlanta at Charlie's Collectible Show, which is, no joke, one of the coolest venues that I've ever played at. If you are interested in some CEDH and or meeting me, consider checking it out. Okay, what am I looking at? I've got an Appraiser. Tapped land on 1, untapped land on turn 2, treasure. I am a mana off from having just turn 3 combo kill. I think that's fine. And I can technically play the Classpool Mimic as a land, but it does ETB tapped, unfortunately. Irrigated farmland. Potentially playing against some sort of blue-white control deck. And tapped land this time, sure. Nice, nice. Field of Ruin. How many basics are in my deck? I know there's at least a mountain, but I don't actually know the real answer to that question. It may or may not actually be important. Jam. I don't have, like, a lot of things to do other than just, like, jam and hope. This isn't a deck that just gets to, like, wait for a counterspell backup or anything like that, just because of, like, how you have to be constructed with Discover. Which is, like, probably specifically why a card like this exists in the sideboard. That is cycling for Shark Typhoon. My opponent is just drawing a card. They're not making the shark, so they're trying to hit some piece of interaction here. Alright, we have passed the, like, Path to Exile test. So now we're popping off. It will Eldritch Evolution. Get a dinosaur. Eldritch Evolution. Get a dinosaur. Appraiser. Mimic. On a dinosaur. Finding Appraiser. Getting Eldritch Okay, yeah. So at this point, we just get the haste creature and we win. Okay, jamming worked. I was just, like, worried that we were, like, going off into, like, white removal and counter spells, but opponent didn't have anything. Feels like this can probably go. Like, we'll turn these into thought distortions. Island, mountain. The 3 basics for future reference. And then I imagine we just trim some card for this. What's this for? Is this for this matchup? I guess it could be. I don't have enough reps here to know which one of these things I should be trimming. Double Eldritch Evolution, not really what I'm looking for in an opening hand. I'm gonna ship this one. Yuck. Let's go to 5. Fantastic. Keep. Pitch this. I think I keep this and just assume that I will find one more mana source at some point. Throw back Spire Bluffs. I don't think I want too many of, like, the Scars fast lands alongside one guaranteed tapped land. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Already have the 4th mana sort of ready to go. Sure. This one tapped this turn is probably fine. It telegraphs that I don't have a turn 3 combo attempt, but I think that's fine. It's just going to make a land drop. And we're just chilling. If my opponent puts, like, no actual clock in play, like, I could just wait this out. And I think I am going to. Like, let's just work towards 6 mana. Like, just play that as a tapped land. And then just give the uncounterable double middle finger. Opponent's missing land drops now. Ooh. I like. All right. Opponent is discarding. They're missing land drops. Cool. This just ruins a control player. Oh. Fuck. Wait, do I care? That's not the end of the world. But fuck, I did not expect that. Wait, then return it to its owner's hand? Fuck. That's bullshit. I'm upset. Never seen that card before in my life. Dinosaur? It's like, once I'm on 7 mana, I can just play this around the mana leak. Sure. Narset's Reversal. Fuck me, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7? Yes. This is played around the mana leak. I imagine that, like, this creature gets removed or something. But we'll see. Sure, that's fine. Like, I just get to try again next turn with Torrential Gearhulk. on my opponent's turn, no less. Bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not playing around soft stuff. Soft removal, that is. The Wandering Emperor. I just go off in response. Feels like yes. Do I Torrential Gear Hulk? Ah, it's a sorcery. Fuck. Oops. I was casting it at instant speed so many times that I felt like it was an instant, which it was not. I exposed this to sorcery speed removal and probably should not have played it. I don't know, like I have a resolved creature in play that is worth something, but probably a mistake. But that draw is good. Let's try to do a thing. A resolved creature in play means that future clone effects are like significantly better. Yeah, Exhibit A. So we'll keep going here. There's the Eldritch Evolution. We're just going to sacrifice an Appraiser. That's fine. You would exile a tapped creature for 2 loyalty. I don't really need to attack yet. Got just like a wall, presumably a wall of counterspells that I have to work through. Let's see what's coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's just a thing that I can cast. That's fine. How much does this activate? Oh, we're just getting March of Otherworldly Lighted. Got it. Samurai token has Vigilance, so it is going to be able to start getting in there. That occurs. And then another token is happening. We will just pass the turn with the intention of doing this on my opponent's turn at some point. Let's do it upkeep. We'll do 3 damage there, 1 damage there. Tap 2 target permanents. Probably just these. Nope, I tapped 1 too many lands there. Or had some visual lag. Okay, are we fine just trying again? We're fine just trying again. It's a no surprises sort of situation. Not sure if I'm supposed to block the 3/3 Samurai if it comes in. It stops like my ability to just like play a clone effect and start going off. But I think that's first strike this turn. All right, I guess that answers my question. I can attempt a chump block next turn, maybe. 4 damage to the walker, I think. Tap both creatures. If my opponent has a counterspell. Seems likely. Oh, it has resolved. I have a Mimic to attempt to go off on my turn. Wait, how big is this thing? My opponent just missed. No, they didn't miss lethal. JK. Thought that had evasion of some kind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I get to do both of these? I'm trying to decide whether the Magma Opus is the prize or whether the combo attempt is. I think the Magma Opus is the prize. So we'll cast this. A March of Otherworldly Light in response. Well, I'll respond then. With a Torrential Gear Hulk. Target the Magma Opus. Cast it. 4 damage here. Tap 2 of your lands. 4 mana. All white. A new Wandering Emperor. That's kind of annoying. They can put counters on this to keep it alive. Yep. Wait. What? I thought that was saving that creature. I clearly misunderstood something, or they misclicked or something. I will target another Torrential Gear Hulk. Drew multiple thought distortions. Send at the Wandering Emperor. The Wandering Emperor dies. Play Blood Crypt and pass. I have a large amount of damage on board. Not really casting that one. This as exactly 7 power is a little nerve-wracking. I am not gonna lie. Don't do that Narset's Reversal card again on me, Please. Settle the wreckage. And another counterspell. Alright, goodbye to that stuff. This is a 7/7, which I guess is actually awkward. Are we staring at each other? Oh yeah, I think we're staring at each other. Like, I can attack in, lose one of these to deal some amount of damage. Yeah, we're staring at each other. This land also has Ward 3. Magma Opus. I'll just cast that on my opponent's turn. Just better metrics versus a counterspell. 4 damage. Tap 1, tap 2. Alright, let's try that again. Cast, 4 damage. Done. Tap 1, tap 2. Done. Stamped. It is a counterspell. That's fine. Like, a counterspell that's used there is not a counterspell that will be used on my potential turn if I draw a good draw. Cast! And my opponent has no cards, so this should lead to a deterministic win here. Replicate. Clone it. And my opponent scoops it up. That was a turn 17 match for a deck that is supposed to just be like turbo all in, just win the game on turn 3. We can, I guess, play long games, which feels weird. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. Just the best place to host your deck lists online, just full period. It is. And I can say lots of nice things about them, or I can just show you that I have 328 deck lists on this site, and I think that's about the best endorsement that I can give them. All right. This is not quite going to do it for me. We're going to mulligan this one. The second one is totally fine. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to apologize because I thought I had time to eat a Laffy Taffy before this round started, and that was a lie. Breeding pool. I'm going to finish the Laffy Taffy. All right. Now I'm ready to battle. We'll play a land and pass, and we get to end of turn, make a treasure token into Appraiser. Not even a Thoughtseize will save our opponent. Yeah, Sylvan's crying. They're dead. They found an Otawara. I make a treasure. I guess I keep Takenuma in case something goes wrong with like a, I don't know, Force of Negation, I guess, is legal. All right. Good stuff. I don't know what I'm playing against. Blue-green with Sylvan Scrying. No idea. Hit submit deck. Figure it out later. Okay. I have some mana acceleration. I don't have an Appraiser. I have a Carnosaur. I think I ship this one, but I might keep something similar once I go down another set of cards or two. Yeah, this is fine. Keep. We'll put the Dinosaur back in the deck and an Eldritch Evolution back in the deck. We've got an Appraiser, which I think is the most important thing here. And we'll get some tapped mana sources out of the way. Hopefully draw some more mana. Sylvan Scrying again. Or Thespian Stage. Sure. Play this as a tapped land. So is my opponent like a blue-green Lotus Field deck? Is that what's happening? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Another Thespian Stage. It is Lotus Field. Sure. I could have held this up. I mean, I guess I will be holding this up now. No, pass turn. Oh no, I'm an idiot. This isn't blue for this. Looks like it didn't matter here, but it could have. Sure. We jamming? I don't know what the interaction suite for this deck looks like. So we're jamming. In play. Cast Mimic. This is the point where spot removal gets used. Nope. Eldritch Evolution. Go bigger. Sure. Oh, that they get to retain that value. Okay, what does this do? Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. Flashback equal to the card's mana cost. Neat. That's a cool interaction. So I take some amount of damage here. My opponent can just like flash this back. How much is this minus? Not enough to kill this. I guess I can like triple red this plus this to kill this. It feels kind of bad. It might be happening. We'll keep it in mind. Opponent's at 17. I am gonna shock to do this thing. I'll pass the turn, holding up the ability to stop a copy here. I think. I don't know, like, I can just use this opportunity to get rid of this and let them have the other Lotus. This is where I don't have matchup reps to just know. So let's shrink that. If I keep this, I can potentially use it as a clone effect. I'll have to get a treasure. I don't have green mana right now. I don't know whether or not this decision was correct. A lot of it just really depends on what is in my opponent's hand. My opponent tanked for a really long time before playing a Scry land. Alaged Recovery. Returning Leer. Okay. 4 mana available. I mean, put them to the test, right? And then I just want to leave up blue. Here we go. Oh, we just win. Cool. Alright, my hand isn't perfect because I have multiple ETB tapped lands. But that's a weird one. I think I say no, and I look for another actual land. But I have 2 Geological Appraisers here, so I'm redundant versus like a Counterspell or Thoughtseize effect or something. I haven't seen a sleight of hand in maybe years. So I think I untapped Blood Crypt and do Creative Outburst so that if I spike another land, I can go off next turn. If I miss, I miss, but sometimes you don't miss. Sure. We'll make our treasure. We miss. I'll do it next turn. And, like, that's fine. We have removal up for if my opponent is playing, like, a rogues thing. What is this? Mill 4, and put an instant sorcery or fairy card into your hand. Okay, cool. Pickpocket Prankster. Okay, that's the other side of this thing. And they chose Thoughtseize. Oh man, Treasure Cruise. These are some sweet cards. It is a shame that I have 2 copies of Geological Appraiser in my hand, though. I can take that Doomskar Titan, and I have to do a pass the turn line, I guess. Sure. You're dead? Yeah, you're dead. Okay. Cool. This deck feels like Splinter Twin, except you don't have to jockey for positions and go for your spots. You just, like, choose to go for it, and your opponent usually dies because the removal is worse than it was in Modern when, like, Splinter Twin existed. And you get to do it a turn faster than Twin relatively consistently. Do I sideboard? Feels like no for the game that I'm on the draw. Like, I just use this to remove an early threat, and then we just make a bunch of land drops and try to kill my opponent until one of us is dead. And then for the game that I'm on the play, I think these become a little bit more reasonable. But I don't know. I have land drops and treasure production, a removal spell, some ability to scry. I think I just like mulligan, though. 1 mana source, no. We'll go to 5. Well, this isn't pretty. I don't even cast these removal spells, so, like, this is the 5. Nah. Sure. Keep 3 lands and one of these 2 cards. Unsure which one. I think the mana producer. I think we just put the Carnosaur back in the deck. We just work towards being able to do something cool. Takenuma's interesting. Get that out of the way. End of turn opt. I have the Eye Tyrant again. Sure, that's fine. Not the end of the world. That's not a particularly strong draw. Tapped Watery Grave. Guess we get Blackcleave Cliffs out of the way. A Creative Outburst for a treasure. Next turn, I guess I can Takenuma. Are you playing that as a 1/3? No. Just consider. Okay. So they'll do it again. You can get back a Treasure Cruise. They've chosen Bitter Triumph instead. Do these have flash? No, they don't have flash. Treasure time. So that's an Appraiser, which is a little awkward. I know my opponent has a removal spell. I think since I have Takenuma, I just fucking send it and just get that card out of my opponent's hand, and we'll try again later. Okay, they are going to pay the 3 life to destroy this. And I can't cast Eldritch Evolution. Does go to my hand. Again, I'm going to just hold that. I don't love playing against both discards and counterspells in the same deck. Like, it feels pretty reasonable to fight one of those things. Fighting both at the same time is a little rough. Okay, I was about to say my opponent might have left themselves... They did it again. They left themselves in a situation without blue. Glass Pool Mimic. That is, unfortunately, a land here. And we have to wait a whole nother turn cycle to Takenuma, because the card's not great. Is this that Shark land? No. Ledger Shredder's fine. It's actively good. Arclight Phoenix. Okay. So the thing that yeets the graveyard is better than I gave it credit for. Understood. Man, drawing those Eldritch Evolutions feels bad. But, like, they do a very strong thing in the deck, so obviously I get it. Alright, there's a 1/3. A Cling to Dust. No. So we will do the Appraiser that was targeted to fizzle that spell. Take 2 damage in combat here. And then we'll feed another Appraiser to whatever piece of interaction my opponent has. And we will continue doing this until my opponent dies. It is another Bitter Triumph. So we'll say no to Eldritch Evolution. We have 3 of a kind. That's actually starting to be problematic, right? Like, I draw the 4th, I don't actually continue the chain up from Appraiser into Carnosaur. Yeah, we might be in a little bit of a weird world here. Another Treasure Cruise. My opponent has 21 cards left in deck. Like, this is kind of impressive for Pioneer. I take 7 damage here. Not the best. 6 mana means, like, Dinosaur is fair game if I draw it. I might just die, though. Like, activating Hive of the Eye Tyrant adds an additional 3 damage. That milled another Arclight Phoenix as well. Yeah, like, I very much can die here. Also, I've seen a lot of cards from my opponent's deck. I may have grossly overestimated how many removal spells my opponent is playing. Got a better read on their deck now. So, like, do I want these versus this? Like, this sometimes removes something. I think I do want these. I think I'll play those. This has acceleration and 1 temple to scry. I don't think I keep this on 7. No, this is 3 mana, and then I just kind of get stuck and do nothing. We'll go to 5. I think I have to keep a respectable 5, even if it's not great. This is definitely not great. So I can keep 5 with enough mana to cast my stuff, or I can go to 4 looking for an Appraiser. I think I'm going to keep the 5 with mana. Doesn't feel good, though. Like, if I go to 4 and keep, like, land, Appraiser, I just eat it to Thoughtseize, which seems like my opponent's premier way of interacting with me. All right, 18. Sleight of hand. Found more mana. Magma Opus would be cool to cast later. Yeah, that's fine. Treasure time? That's not bad. I mean, we're not there yet, mana-wise, but I am happy enough to see that card. What is the end? Exile target creature or planeswalker, and then rip everything out. Okay, got it. Pseudo, like, surgical extraction removal spell. We found more dinosaurs. Yep. I'd like to hit Carnosaur into Appraiser specifically. That would be nice. Yes. Ow. Dino time. Mystical Dispute. Got it. Alright, there are counter spells. I'm at 16 life. I take 2 every time I attempt something dinosaur-sized. Treasure Cruise. Sure. This is where, like, the big exile-y card starts to look attractive. Whatever that black uncounterable nonsense is. That's fine. They're just going to bring back another one. It brings back another one. For sure. Again, these games of Pioneer are lasting slightly longer than I would expect. So, if this Thoughtseize resolves, I lose Trumpeting Carnosaur anyway, and Eldritch Evolution in my hand doesn't really matter. So I think I am just going to go ahead and use this card to take out the Shredder. Alright, there's a Phoenix. So there's another Treasure Cruise. Now we're in Arclight Phoenix territory, I believe. Oh, no. I mean, this is a fantastic card. I need 1 more mana for it, so I've got to hope that I don't get Thoughtseized in the next turn cycle. Or what is that returning? Probably Bitter Triumph. Light of Hand, which they'll cast. I assume we're just going to get a pile of cantrips leading into this third Treasure Cruise of the game. One has 18 cards left in library. Sure. This is a clock in play. It looks like my opponent's going to discard a couple of cards. I'm at 13. Discarding a Phoenix seems good. Really just want to draw an untapped land for Torrential Gear Hulk. But we're not getting that. Oh, that sucks. Alright. Still think I'd do this so that Carnosaur is guaranteed live next turn. If I don't do that, and then my opponent has another way to make me discard a card, it's just bad for me. Alright, sure. Go to 10. Just game is fully out of my control. We just see whether or not I draw good cards. This could get countered by the thing that counters for 3. What is this? Counter target red or green spell with mana value 6 or less. Sure. I probably only get 1 more top deck to go off. There's 4 damage on board with an Arclight Phoenix in graveyard. Oh, right, there's just that. Nope, I am just dead. Concede. We took some rough mulligans that time, but these like blue-black decks that can interact via both discard and counterspells conceptually seem a little tough. Final round here, I am looking at 2 mana sources with an Appraiser. Feels like mulligan. This is 6 mana with nothing to do. This is a balanced 5-card hand. By balanced, I mean incredibly fucking good in my favor. Alright. This is the first opponent that is just like going to attempt to race me, which is reasonable. So I'd really just like to find an untapped land off Temple of Malice, I guess. Yeah, I guess that'll do. Like, I don't love that it hurts me, but this game's fucking ending, folks. Like, one of us is dead very quickly. And we'll just see who it is. Are Discover spells cast? I don't actually know. I think so, right? Yeah, because they're counterable. Well, that's fucking bad. Okay. Ate that for me. Huh. Yeah. Okay. What the fuck is this? Sure, red mana, 1 damage. Exile top card, can cast it. We'll read the 7 if it becomes relevant. I take 1. My opponent convert that into more damage. Soul Scar Mage, sure. So I eat 1 damage. I'm at 15, which is actually 14. Because ow. And then we kind of see how this next turn goes. That helps. So, red, blue, 1. Do this thing. Cast. Ow. Copy that. Discover 3. Okay, good. Eldritch Evolution is what I wanted. So I sack this. Creative Outburst. Fuck Rolling Vortex. I just lose to that card. I need to board in things that bounce. So we are going to produce a 7/6 creature. And I just have to say no. Well, I thought we were getting a freebie versus mono red. I was very wrong. The second Firebrand just kills me. They can throw both at my face. I guess that was already on board, right? Just sack Chandra Plus. Okay. So I need this to be able to bounce Roiling Vortex. I kind of want these, but I don't know how much of this stuff, I board out. This is a little uncomfortable. I don't think I ever throw this hand back. But Roiling Vortex sure does rock my world. Take the trumpet. Let's go no. I think I'm looking for more mana in case I have to try a second time. I can still get disrupted by lightning bolt style stuff. 19. 17. Show me Roiling Vortex, I guess. 16. Make mana. I drew my sideboard card. I am just jamming. That's what I'm here to do. My opponent can potentially just use a lightning bolt style card to stop this. Yep. I will not cast that card. We found an Eldritch Evolution. Any land lets me just try again on my turn, which is why I junked the Carnosaur earlier. Players can't gain life whenever another creature enters the battlefield. 1 damage. That's fine. Seems like my opponent has a very anti-meta deck. Alright, do that. Pass turn. I can bounce this to save myself a pretty respectable amount of life. Just awkward, because if I do that, then Roiling Vortex can come down and it's a problem. I think I just bounce it though. Try to force my opponent to tap out. They did not tap out. And that's fine. We'll try again. Wild Slash, sure. We'll say no to that. Put it in hand. There's the Pharasodon back. And there's a Vortex. Yeah. Seems like my opponent is very good at disrupting or punishing this combo. How much is this? 5? Sure. Maybe? This is kind of a problem. I think I'm just dead. I can make my opponent discard 2 cards, then I take 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 total, and then if I tap Mana Confluence, I'm just out. Yeah, I don't think I beat Roiling Vortex. So we're playing kind of a broken deck, but people are prepared. Sorry, I just realized my light was off for a portion of that league. My bad there. So we ended up 2-3 in this league, but we had multiple turn 3 kills in Pioneer, which is maybe not a thing that should be allowed to happen. This deck feels kind of like an Oops All Spells or Goblin Charbelcher, in that you get disrupted by a lot of stuff. A counter spell can stop you, a discard spell can stop you, a spot removal spell can stop you. If you know what you're doing against this deck, a lot of times it feels like you can just stop what's going on. And I don't know that like playing this deck, you get to do a lot of jockeying for position. Like the things you can do as, bait spells cost 1,000,000,000 mana, and you don't have a lot of green in your mana base to cast some of this stuff when you actually do draw it. I also don't know that like the play patterns with this deck are all that good. Like there's definitely decision points, but a lot of times it's like, do I win this turn? No, I'll try again later. Do I win this turn? No, I'll try again later. And like there's some nuance to it, but I could understand banning a card out of this deck to keep people from tilting out of the format. Like losing on turn 3 in Pioneer because you didn't have interaction in your opening hand in game 1 is kind of shitty. And like this might just be too fast for the format, even if it is like not too consistently strong at like a tournament level. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you kind of think of this one in terms of power level, format health, all that sort of stuff. Like legitimately interested in reading it. I'm an outsider to Pioneer. I've never played against this deck. This is my first time playing it. And remember, if you need any cards, check out Cool Stuff Inc. Use promo code ThrabenU to save 5% on your order. And if you want to try this deck, there's a link in the video description to moxfield.com. And folks, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. See ya!